So today I want to talk to you about costly mistakes that home buyers are likely to make that a realtor can help them prevent. First one is buying a bad house. Now, what do I mean by buying a bad house? Whenever you go into a house, there's a lot of unknowns. So if the house needs a lot of repair, if there are hidden defects, or there's an issue with the heat and air, there's an issue with the roof, there's an issue with the foundation. If you're without a realtor or without a good agent, you might miss some of those things. So one thing that we do as an agent is make sure that we have the opportunity to have that home inspected. We work with some of the best home inspectors around. They're going to go in the crawl space under the house or the basement. They're going to go in the attic. They're going to go check the roof. They're going to check the heat and air. They're going to check the plumbing, the electrical. And at the end of the day, you're going to know everything there is to possibly know about that house. And that allows you to make a decision to make sure you're not buying a bad house. No house is going to be perfect, but at least you go in eyes wide open. You know exactly what you're buying for the price you've agreed to pay. And if there are bigger issues that need to be dealt with, we build in our contract that we're able to go back to the seller and either renegotiate the price, renegotiate the terms, ask them to repair things. So you have options. And a good agent's going to build that in with your offer and with the contract to make sure that you're protected on that. Number two mistake that buyers can make sometimes when they don't have a good agent helping them is paying too much for the house. Or just paying too much in general. It could be too much on the price, it could be too much in some other areas. So what do we mean by that? As you start to look at houses, you're going to kind of figure out what the market value is on things. When we work with you as a buyer client, we make sure we also get a third party independent appraisal done so that you find out, does the appraiser also agree with that purchase price? And we also structure the contract in such a way that you are protected. Either renegotiate that price or walk away if the appraiser doesn't see the value. Other ways that you can overpay is having the wrong lender, paying too much in closing costs, too much in closing fees. We want to make sure that you make a wise investment and that you're a good steward of the money that you have. And so that's another protection. We make sure that you don't overpay when you're purchasing a home. The number three mistake that sometimes we see happen to buyers when they don't have a good agent helping them is that they get into the process and they lose their earnest money. Now, what is earnest money? Earnest money is the money that you put down initially when you make the offer that goes towards the purchase price as long as you close. If the contract's not written properly, that earnest money could be in jeopardy. Say that you do that home inspection, you find a problem. If you're not within the timelines and the boundaries of the contract, that earnest money could go to the seller in some instances. Or if the house doesn't appraise or the financing falls through, there's instances where the seller could get the earnest money if you're unable to perform and buy that house. A good realtor is going to build in those protections and build into the contract ways for you to get your earnest money back should an unexpected event like that arise. Those are three mistakes. There's others as well, but those are three big ones that sometimes buyers make that we as good realtors try to make sure we prevent and help our buyers to navigate the process.